So I needed another set of 4 light bars for my indoor greenhouse. There you can see the specifications. 10 watts each bar, and it has the equivalent of about 500 watts of light power. Last year I bought a set of 4 different brand name, but both off of Amazon. So I'm just unpacking here. Each bar is individually wrapped, so the packing was done well. Now it comes with all the linking cables, so you can connect all 4 together, or you can just do 2 together. And you can also connect 2 to make them long into 4 feet. So these are 2 feet each, but you can link them all together with a special connector that they include. So there's 4 individual little accessory packs, there's tie wraps, the linking cables, and then 2 power cables with switches, along with the instructions. I'll also provide links into the description for this set of 4 as well as the one I bought last year, and I'm going to compare them as well. So they both have a slight yellowish hue, and they're advertised as full spectrum. So the first thing you want to do is hook them all up together. So you're testing not only the connections, but making sure all the surface mount LEDs are working properly, because there's no point in installing it if there's 1 or 2 that are out or it's defective. So you want to do that first, and each bar has an on and off switch, so all of them are set to on right now. And then on the main power cord there is a toggle rocker switch. And I do prefer this type of switch because if you always leave it on and it's plugged into an Alexa outlet and you control it either by voice or by a schedule, it comes on and there's no issues. My other set, it's a timer switch, and you have to actually physically turn it on and off, so I can't use it with Alexa as efficiently. So it comes with a plug to go in your last bar, or any bar that has an open socket. That's to prevent any moisture from getting into the fixture. And if you need to remove it, use a sharp tool or a safety pin to remove it, because it sits in there pretty flush. So this comes with the typical contacts, thank you card. These are adhesive strips that you can, if you just wanted to mount it without using the little brackets. And then you have the manual instructions, and it just shows you some warnings about not hooking up too many together, but no problem with hooking up 4. And then each bar comes with a little bag of accessories, so that's a joiner, so if you want to hook up 2 end to end you could, and there's that little waterproof plug. And then you have 2 brackets. First you would screw it into a wall, and then you would clip the fixture into that bracket so you can mount it. And I'm going to show you how I installed them on my 2 lower shelves of my mini indoor greenhouse. So it comes with these tie wraps, and what you want to do is equally space them out, but also keep in mind on either end of that bar you have to connect the wire for the plug, so you have to leave yourself a bit of room. So tie wrap it, but don't cinch it up all the way, just leave it somewhat, at least some slack in it basically. So you want to do both ends, and again try to keep them equally spaced apart. I'm doing 2 light fixtures per shelf, and that's plenty of light to grow my flowers and my vegetables. And it takes a bit of patience trying to feed the tie wrap through the grid and around the fixture, but just take your time. So you can see I've left some space for the plug on the one end, and it only goes in one way, so you kind of make sure you do practice it sort of before you go through this step, because you won't be able to see it. And I just bring it slightly under the frame like this. And because these fixtures were quite bright, I didn't bother. Some people will put them on chains or lower them closer to the plants, but these are quite bright, and I felt just mounting them to the metal wire grid is fine. But you do have that option too. If you want to raise and lower it, you can do it that way. So the other thing you want to do now is tighten it up. So once you have it where you're happy with it, cut off the excess. And then I just rotate the tie wrap around so it sits flush and that little cut piece is not sticking up, because your trays are going to go on top of this. Don't forget to put the little plug in your last light fixture, because it's a high moisture environment inside a greenhouse, so you want to make sure everything is sealed up and closed. But overall, I was happy with the build of these light bars. Now this light bar is a single row of surface mount LEDs. The one I bought last year, the set of 4, they were double LEDs, so there's actually 2 rows in each light fixture. They were a little more expensive, so it makes sense that they had a little bit more light, but they actually give off a very similar amount of light. But again, I'll link in the description. You can check it out on Amazon and check out the specifications. Again, you just want to rotate it and then cut off the excess. And then once I have them secured in place, I'm just going to take one of my trays of my seed trays. I do put 2 per shelf, but I'm just putting 1 in just to make sure that it sits okay. And I'm just going to turn on the new fixtures. It's nice and bright. I'm also going to show you a comparison. So this is last year's light fixtures and the light that they cast. So here's last year's with a white piece of paper, just showing you the color, and the new one. So they're very similar. One's slightly yellower than the other, but they're pretty close. So I'm just adding the little protective plug in the end. And there you can see on the top shelf last year's lights, and the second shelf also has last year's lights, and then the last 2 down below here are the new fixtures. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the light they give off. Here I'm going to show you a comparison of the new fixtures, which is a single row of surface mount LEDs, and then last year's are like a double row. And there's all the specifications for that purchase from last year. So as you can see, they're both T8 lights, so they're 2 feet long. They're all linkable, and they roughly give out the same output. This one was 440 watts, the other one was 500. But yeah, pretty happy with the light output. And as you can see, this was after about 4 or 5 days. Some of the seedlings started coming up, and they run pretty efficiently too, so they're going to save you a little bit on electricity. And the light output is much greater than fluorescent shop lights. So I hope you found this video helpful. I do have another video on seed starting. You can feel free to check that out. So stay tuned for more videos. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.